Okay, so there are 4 fights in the main card right before we get to, Cohen main event. And man, these are some good fights. They really, definitely the last two. The last two are like, yo. Okay, so we start off with the light heavyweights, our sole light heavyweight clash of the night, and we have Junior Taffer against Tuco Tokus. Right? So, what do we have here? Right? Tuco Tokus, who actually fights out of London. Yeah. He's 35, 6'4", 76-inch reach. He's 10-5 in his career. He's coming off of 2 losses, right? And there his sole fights in the UFC. He did. Oh no, he did. For some reason, I thought he came off of the Contender, but he did not. But yeah, he hasn't been able to get it done, right? His first fight was against Omar Sy in May 2024. Lost first round rear naked. In December that year, he lost again to Navajo Sterling. Both really good young up-and-coming fighters. So, there's no shame in that. You know what I mean? In his fights before getting to the UFC, I do think that the Psy fight was a short notice one. I might be wrong, but I think it was. He's got a few knockouts. Right, he's even got a couple of submissions. Right, back earlier on in his career, in 2021. Right, got an arm triangle and a DOS. Alright, so pick those up. But knockout, they're kind of his thing. And it is the larger weight dudes. And you do find that, they like to do it with their hands. You know what I mean? So he is going up against Junior Taffer, right? The Juggernaut. And he's 28, 6'3", 72-inch reach. He's coming off a win. He's 6-3 in his career. All right, so in the UFC, he sits at 2-3. Yeah, 2-3. He last time out beat Sean Sharaf. That was October 2024, second round stoppage. Okay? We mentioned him earlier because he lost via heel hook before that to Walter Walker. And he lost to Marco Regio da Silva in the second round. I do think that was the one where he switched opponents with his brother due to injury. I think that might have been that fight, right? He beat Parker Porter, lost to Muhammad Usman. Yeah, that's been his UFC, just a couple of wins. So, I think he definitely does want and need a win. You know what I mean? Tukus, it is a bit different for Taffer because he's coming off a win, but he needs to put together a substantial body of work, right? And the light heavyweight isn't it's definitely better than what it was, but it's not a killer's brigade like the bantamweight, flyweight, lightweight, featherweight. You know what I mean? Those ones are killers. But the light heavy and the heavy are a little bit, lethargic. So he needs to do that and get credible wins, like big wins, big names. You know what I mean? Like recognizable dudes under the belt. And Tukus, yeah, I mean, he definitely needs to win, right? Definitely need to win. I do think this is that fight for Tukus. I think he, this is a one where he could potentially, pick it up. So, yeah, I'm going to roll the dice. I'm going to take Tukus for the win here, especially because he's got a bit of a ground game, and, Taffer lost via heel hook, right? So, he is a little bit more susceptible for those things. So, yeah, I'm going to take Tukus to get the win. So, next up, right, we've got our second heavyweight bout of the night. It's Victor Petrino against Austin Lane. Okay, so, anything can happen when the big men step inside, But, you have a bit more of an idea at times. Austin Lane is 37, 6'6", 80-inch reach. He's 13-6 with one no contest in his career, coming off of a loss. All right, within the UFC, he's 1-3. He, was on the Contender Series twice, but that's how he got there. And he's 1-3 and 1 no contest in UFC. I give Austin Lane a lot of props because the way he lost on the Contender Series the first time was crazy. Right? He just got blasted. And you just thought, oh man, that Greg Hardy ended his career. That's what you just thought. It was just so nasty. He went on the regionals and then lost again. And first round knockout again. Not as quick, but yeah, and that's definitely gonna bring doubts into your head. But, he took a few months off, came back, and put together some wins. Put together some wins. He lost, but then he put together a really nice little run and got back to the Contender Series. So, that shows this isn't just I'm not playing football anymore. You know what I mean? And so I give him respect for that, a lot of respect, because there must have been so much doubt in his head, but he really committed himself to the game, and that is very commendable. But it's just not going that well. It's just not going that well in the UFC, right? And he really does need to get some wins. The one win he had recently against Robelis Daspinage, I know I butchered that. That was mad lackluster. Oh, that was just a crazy, terrible fight. So yeah, he needs to do something. You know what I mean? He needs to do something, otherwise he could get cut. So that is the big thing. I think, his opponent, he's on a 2-fight losing streak, you know? Victor Petrino. I don't even know how to pronounce his nickname. Like Akio, right? Yeah, he's on a 2-fight losing streak. He's 11-2 in his career. 4-2 in the UFC. Came via the Contender. So he lost to Dustin Jacoby. I mean, Dustin is just, he's got good hands, right? And he just caught him with a beautiful right cross. The Anthony Smith fight was just, oh man, that was terrible. He made a terrible decision. Just left his head inside on a takedown. And it was just clear what Smith was going to do, you know? And it was not good. It's not good. So Pedrino, he needs to show something. Because he did have a lot of promise for sure. Right? He started very well. 4 wins. And I mean, out of those 4 wins, I'd say the Modesta Picowskis is probably the best out of all of those, because Picowskis has definitely shown himself to be someone with mad potential. You know what I mean? So that was a good win. But yeah, he needs to do something here. Right? I do think he has probably got the better overall game. Right? Although his fight IQ is questionable, I think he's got more tools and a more rounded game and should be Austin Lane. Right? Should be Austin Lane. But, I mean, you know what I mean? That is, fights like this can really fuck you up, because you go, oh yeah, if that fight, and then you watch them and they do something mad crazy, and you're just like, well, I didn't see that coming. But yeah, I do think Petrino should get the nod. Okay? So we then jump to the featherweights, and boy, it's always fun with the featherweights, right? We have Nate Land here against Morgan Sher. And this is a good friggin' fight. Oh, this is one of my favorite fights on the card, people. Morgan, the last pirate, Sher. He is very good. He's 29, 5'8", 69-inch reach. He is 20, 11, and 1 draw. Now he comes off of a loss, you know. He is 2-2 in the UFC. Former Cage Warrior champion. All right. Now that loss was against Nathaniel Wood. I forget what happened in that fight, to be honest with you, because Sher has definitely had a few fights where he's lost and you kind of feel he should have gotten a nod, you know. But yeah, I cannot remember that fight at all. Yeah, it was a very good win against Gabriel Miranda before that. And Chepe Mariscal was a split. Yeah, I mean, it was a very good fight, that one. You know, came in with a really good win over Manolo Zecchini. You know, that was his first fight in the UFC. Sher is, man, like, he's got good strikes, good kicks. And when he's on, oh boy, it is so good to watch. I do think sometimes Sher gets stuck, right? It feels like he gets stuck in his head, right? And he's just not flowing like we've seen him flow, right? He doesn't make those adaptations in the fight, right? But when he's on, he does all of those things, and he looks very good. He looks very good. So it's just what's going to happen on the night. And, you know, when you're fighting Nate the Train Landier, boy, you gotta be on your P's and Q's, right? Nate is 37, 5'9", 72-inch reach. He is 18-6. He's also coming off of a loss, right? He is 5-4 in the UFC. Right now, he's coming off a loss to Dong Ho Choi, right, which was a 3rd round stoppage. That was December 2024. Before that, beat Jamal Emmers, right? And Emmers started well in the fight. That was the crazy thing. And then, pow, Nate got him. He lost to Dan Eag, beat Austin Lingo, beat David Omama, beat Ludovic Klein. Very good wins, He had that war with Darren Elkins. Like, Nate the Train is a beast. He's a beast. It's hard to... it's hard not to enjoy a fight with him in it. You know what I mean? Because there's gonna be blood. There's gonna be violence. Right? All of them things. He's just got one of those kill or be killed attitudes. He is very similar to Darren Elkins, Though I think Landwehr's Chid is holding out more than Elkins of late. Right? Now, that's the thing. They're both coming off of losses, right? They're both coming off of losses, and they both do like to fight. I think Charrier fought more recently, because his fight was March this year, with Landwehr December last year, right? Yeah, it's a pick'em. I, though, am a huge fan of The Last Pirate, so I'm taking Morgan Charrier for the win. Okay? Now, our last fight on the main card, right, we're sticking with the featherweight. We have got Calvin Kattar against Steve Garcia. Now, Mean Machine Steve Garcia is... he's very good. He's 33, 6 foot, 73-inch reach. He's 17-5, right? Coming off of 5 wins. Whew. Coming off of 5 wins, Fighting out of Jackson Wink, right? Great camp. Steve is 6-2 in the UFC. Right? Came via the Contender Series. And, man, he stopped Carl Nelson, 1st round stoppage. That was in September 2024. In July of that year, he beat Song Woo Choi. Again, another 1st round stoppage. He beat Pascal Costa, right, in December 2023. And Costa has been looking really good lately. He beat Shaolin Nudenbecker, right, April 2023, 2nd round stoppage. Beat Chase Hooper, October 2022, 1st round stoppage. So, phenomenal wins, right? Phenomenal wins, and very good opposition as well, right? These aren't like, I don't know who the fuck that was. That was some, late replacement brought it. No, these are very credible wins, which is, just shows how good Garcia is, right? think that's the thing. He lost his debut against Luis Pena. I don't think Pena's in the UFC anymore, right? That went 3 rounds. But since then, man, he's just been really turning it on. Really turning it on. Now, Garcia faces the Boston finisher, Calvin Kattar. I did think, for whatever reason, he had a different nickname. Right? The Boston finisher, I thought he had a different nickname. But, yeah, that seems to be it. Kattar is 37, 5'11", 72-inch reach. And he's 23-9. Within the UFC, he is 7-7. He's on a 4-fight losing streak, which is just insanity, really. When you just think how good Kattar is, right? So he fought in February this year, 2025. He lost to Yusuf Salau. But Salau, in his second stint in the UFC, has been all guns blazing, you know? He lost to Aljamain Sterling. Sterling just was, oh, you know, he controlled every aspect of that fight. And it's Aljo, man. So, come on. He lost to Arnold Allen. Got a leg injury in the second round. Split. I will say, the split decision to Josh Emmett, I did think Kattar won that fight. Right? I did think he won that fight. Which is, you know, and I think another reason he's not being cut. Right? He lost that crazy one with Max Holloway. That's the one with the no-look punch. I'm the best boxer in the UFC. That was just, I mean, Max has so many highlights, man. Got that. Beat Giga Chikadze really well. Right? That was a really good win. You know, beat Dan Ige. Beat Jeremy C. He's got some great wins. Right? He lost to Zabit Magomedsharipov. Right? But he was really putting it on Zabit at the end of that fight. You know? He is, he's a very good fighter. And it's just not been going his way. Not been going his way. I think Kattar is great. It is just very frustrating, though, because I just think Garcia will win this fight. Right? And, like, you want Kattar to get the win, right? You don't want him to get the cut, right? Hate to see that. But Steve Garcia, he's just been on a roll. And he has the weapons to back it up. It's, you know what I mean? We're not saying Garcia has pulled off some fluky wins. No, Garcia is looking phenomenal. And I think Garcia is going to, you know what I mean, just get into some title talking fights real soon. You know? Like, he might not get a shot, but he's definitely going to be, you know what I mean, fighting for that contention, I think. So losing to Garcia, that's not anything to be like, ugh. You know, because I think Garcia is one to watch. So yeah, I'm taking Steve Garcia, but that, people, is a phenomenal fight to, you know, take us to our last two, right? To be that featured bout before everything's on the line. So yeah, that's a phenomenal one. Steve Garcia, but boy, 4 very good fights.